Most people don't realize how many crushes they carry quietly through life. Not the obvious ones, but the subtle, hidden attractions they never talk about. The kind that change your behavior just a little, even when you pretend nothing is happening. By the end of this, you'll understand why secret crushes form, what's happening in your brain when they appear, and why they often have less to do with romance and more to do with psychology. You may even recognize a few you've had without ever naming them. Crushes are not accidents. They are emotional responses shaped by proximity, curiosity, admiration, and imagination. Often, they form where boundaries exist or where connection feels just out of reach. That distance gives the mind room to fill in gaps with fantasy. Psychologically, this happens because repetition lowers perceived threat. The mind becomes curious. You begin to notice small details, their walk, their smile, the way they dress. Without conversation, imagination takes over. You might find yourself dressing a little better before going out, even when you don't know if you'll see them. Ask yourself this: have you ever felt oddly disappointed when you didn't run into someone you weren't even dating? Another secret crush often develops in places of authority. A boss who is confident, kind, or emotionally intelligent. The attraction isn't just physical, it's rooted in admiration. The brain links competence and leadership with security and approval. When someone in power shows encouragement or warmth, your reward system lights up. You may work harder, seek recognition, or feel more motivated than usual. It can feel inspiring, even productive, but it's also layered with risk, which is why it often stays unspoken. What makes this type of crush powerful is that it blends ambition with emotion. You're not just attracted to the person, you're drawn to how they make you feel about yourself. Then there's the crush that arrives through familiarity and trust. A sibling's friend, someone you see often enough to feel close, but distant enough to feel forbidden. The attraction grows quietly, fed by shared moments and inside jokes. Psychologically, this happens because trust lowers emotional barriers. You feel safe around them. But the social consequences of acting on the feeling create tension. That tension intensifies attraction. The brain is drawn to what feels slightly off limits. You might notice yourself paying more attention when they're around, laughing a little louder, feeling a little more self-conscious, and yet saying nothing because the cost of honesty feels too high. Have you ever noticed how attraction grows strongest where silence is required? Another common but rarely admitted crush forms in learning environments. A teacher, mentor, or instructor. Someone who guides you, believes in you, and wants you to improve. This crush is often misunderstood, even by the person experiencing it. Psychologically, guidance and care can activate attachment responses. When someone invests in your growth, your brain may interpret that attention as emotional significance. Over time, admiration can blur into attraction. This doesn't mean the feelings are romantic in nature. Often they reflect a desire for approval, validation, or safety. The mind confuses emotional support with intimacy. Awareness is important here because boundaries protect both people involved. Interestingly, this type of crush can sometimes push people to perform better, study harder, and believe more in themselves. The key is understanding what the feeling represents rather than acting on it. One of the most emotionally complex secret crushes involves someone already taken, a best friend's partner. You hear about them constantly, their strengths, their kindness, their flaws. Without realizing it, your mind builds an image. Psychologically, this happens through emotional exposure. You become familiar with someone without directly engaging with them. You admire how they treat your friend. You imagine what it would feel like to be cared for that way. Over time, the attraction may shift from wanting them specifically to wanting what they represent: a healthy relationship, stability, affection. But because the feelings feel personal, they create guilt and silence. This type of crush can be a mirror. It often reveals unmet needs rather than true desire. Recognizing that can prevent emotional harm. Another quiet crush can emerge within extended family circles, a distant cousin or relative you only see during gatherings. You don't grow up together, so familiarity mixes with novelty. Psychologically, shared values and background create comfort, but limited exposure creates mystery. That combination can spark attraction. You may find yourself attending more family events, becoming more involved, wanting to be noticed. This type of crush often fades with time or clarity. It's usually driven by environment rather than deep compatibility. Still, it highlights how attraction often grows from repeated presence and shared context, not just romance. Then there's the fleeting but intense crush that happens during travel, a co-traveler on a plane or train, someone you'll likely never see again. The attraction feels pure, exciting, and strangely emotional. Psychologically, this is fueled by impermanence. The brain romanticizes what it knows it cannot keep. With no future to complicate things, imagination fills the space. Conversation feels deeper. Eye contact lasts longer. Everything feels meaningful. Because there's no shared history or responsibility, the mind creates an ideal version of the person. The crush becomes a moment, not a relationship. And sometimes that's exactly why it feels so powerful. Here's something surprising. Secret crushes are not signs of disloyalty or immaturity. They are reflections of unmet emotional needs, curiosity, or admiration. The brain uses attraction as information. When you notice a crush, it's worth asking what it's pointing to. Do you crave connection, validation, excitement, or understanding? Often the crush isn't about the person at all. It's about what they symbolize. Most people don't act on secret crushes. They carry them quietly, letting them fade or transform. That restraint is not suppression, it's emotional intelligence. The key is awareness. When you understand why a crush exists, it loses its power to control you. It becomes insight instead of temptation. So, take a moment to reflect. Which type felt most familiar to you? And what does that say about what you need right now? In the end, secret crushes are part of being human. They remind us that we are emotional, imaginative, and responsive beings. What matters is not whether they happen, but how we understand them. If this resonated with you, take a moment to reflect on your own experiences. Share your thoughts, support the channel by liking and subscribing, and continue exploring the psychology behind everyday emotions. The more you understand your inner world, the more clarity you bring into your outer one.